Hi, everybody. I am Mike McCann, the real estate man. I'm honored to be here. I'm the new guy in camp, but I'm lucky to be alive. I went down on my motorcycle at 60 miles an hour on the highway 6 weeks ago, but I jumped up. We have too much to live with. Anyway, so I have to wear this for a little while.
Don't you usually do a one-arm push-up?
I have fractured ribs, so I can't do them right now.
Excuses.
I'm known for. There you go.
Uh-oh, here we go. Oh!
Pretty good.
So he can never say he went on a stage and didn't do that, right? Now we got to send you to the chiropractor afterwards.
No, that's good. That's good. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks.
So I will say, I don't know if you know this, but we were at a regional meeting with, some of the top leaders in the country, and when Mike McCann joined Keller Williams, it was like almost, the rock star of the ages joined, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is incredible!" And what you've done has been like world news. I mean, there's people in Canada inviting you to events and all over the country. What the heck did you do to create such an incredible business? Like, what happened from 30 plus years ago to sitting here today with your boot on?
I don't know. I love real estate. I'm committed to my team and family, and it's just what I love. But it was very exciting, and I was very happy with my other company for years, and we were always the top. And that wasn't even my goal. My goal was to provide a good living for my family. Then, as I hired people to provide a good living for them, and as my team has grown, to do that, to provide a good living for them. And so I was with the company for 27 years, but the last 10 years I was like, wow, that person left for KW. Wow, that person, that's okay, we don't need, we were just doing great. And I had an opportunity in 2005 to get into KW, and I was like, you know what, that's a great. And if I was brand new, I would definitely go there because they got the systems, and we called it drinking the Kool-Aid, and I called it the Ponzi scheme. But that was just our way to deflect. But inside, I sold vacuum cleaners door to door for 3.5 years, from 19 to 22, and it was a pumped up system that was really motivated us, and that's what Keller kind of reminded me of, the leader that motivated you. So in 2005 and 2006, I said, we're doing great. Why do I have to end this contract and risk everything? I'm not doing KW. But the last 3-4 years, last 10 years, I saw so many top producers go throughout nationally. And then the last 3-4 years, I'm like, this is crazy. And then I watched Gary's 10 blogs on Command and Kelly, and I thought, this guy is a visionary. This guy is committed. This guy reminds me of me. See, if you come in my marketplace, I'll help you. I'll cooperate. But I tell you, you're not going to beat us. No matter what, we're going to win. That's what we do in a polite, helpful way, because I want you to grow too. And that's how it's been for my team, so I always protect my team. So Gary reminds me of the guy that doesn't have to. He wants to keep us in front of the transaction. And I've been doing it 33 years before the internet, before the MLS was on the computer. So I've saw a lot of changes. But these last 2-3 years, the changes have been accelerated much more than any time in my 30 years. And I believe the next 3-4 years, it's going to accelerate more. So as a parent, meaning a team leader, I have a bunch of children. When you're a parent, what's the most important thing for you? It's your children. They're more important than you. You'll jump off the bridge before them. And so that's why I made the commitment, the decision to what's the best place for my team to be the next 5, 10, 20, 30 years. And then also, some of the younger people to the left of me here, well, for a couple of years were like, this is kind of old school. It's kind of old school. I'm old school. Yeah, I am old school. But and we were just doing great. But so between the change and the vision of this company, and I am so all in, and I'm the new guy, so I don't know anything about anything, and I'm the new guy. Did Bold yesterday in my first time, and reading the Keller books, and I'm doing these things.
Well, you said you did Bold for the first time?
One time
of
bold.
course.
And he also
One time Bold.
He said something incredible this morning, that 16 of the 18 team members are all in Bold, and he just got here. That's
Absolutely,
impressive.
yes.
Great
well,
job.
that's our team found. One last thing, and I'll shut up because I'm a realtor. I love to talk. Right? The one that is, so you're enticed. You know, you're before I met my wife. I'm looking at her. I'm like, oh, I really like her. She's beautiful. Got to meet her. Oh, I really like her. Got to marry her. You know, wow, this is great. A year later, I loved her even more. Well, 9 months later, this company is unbelievable. It is deeper than I thought. There's so much more from Gary, up or down, however you want to call it, to everyone else. That is so much more, and I have so much to learn. So it's not this false image just to get me to come, you know. And it was big. I mean, we had 100 deals pending, 215 listings. You know, we do about 800 deals a year. We had to move all that from somebody that wanted to keep it all. So that was friggin' brutal. But so that was very stressful. But the bottom line is this company is better than it's deeper. Gary's more committed. The people are more committed. The agents. And I must have got, and I'll shut up, sorry, 3,000 to 4,000 Facebook messages, texts, and emails from all over, not just Canada, like other places in the other parts of the world. Anyway, and the support has been unbelievable.
Well, that's your mic.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, when I looked online at your team, it like just knocked me out. It was 8,000 plus homes sold, or right, 8,000 plus properties sold, $2 billion in volume. Like that, offices don't do that. Like, I mean, the results are incredible. And then I seen like 100 plus reviews from your customers. So you not only are you're doing world-class business, but the customer service. So I'm assuming that database and that family that you created with your clients is probably amazing to continue to be the #1 agent at another company for so long. So what do you guys do to keep that customer base so
I'm going to let Ryan
involved?
talk real quick, but we're an old school family business. We never had a client party. We don't have a 33 touch system. So we just had our first client party. We're doing our 33 touch system. Ours was just all on attraction and commitment. But go ahead, Ryan.
You kind of stole my thunder, but we never had a database. We never did any of that. We were old school, which is running and gunning. And so much of that is just the hard work, and it's the passion for our clients and for Philly, and just out working. But since we've come on, we're getting organized. We're creating our database. We're actually going after our database. We're having events. So we're starting to really get organized and learn all the Keller systems that we've never really had. And so it's been really awesome and overwhelming, but to kind of learn all the systems that we have to.
Well, I want to share this. He also said this morning, this is a $400 million annual, like a team that does that kind of volume. And you just kind of heard it there. He said, we're starting to learn how to be business owners now. I was like, huh?
I'll admit it.
But that transparency to me is leadership, being vulnerable and saying, you know what, I don't know it all, I haven't done it all, and listening. And that's at the smallest level in our market center to one of the highest levels in the country. We all have something that we can do better. So I love that you think like that.
And one of the things, as I'm getting in these courses and learning stuff, so many of the things that I've done naturally are within the system. Family first, and then business, and just passion and purpose and loyalty. And we always tried to create raving fans. So someone said, well, I'm thinking about buying. Who did you use? Oh, you have to call Mike. Oh, you have to call Ryan. Oh, like that. We have raving fans. That's how we get so much of our business. Besides, the marketing and having the best reputation. 3 points to my success: having the best reputation in the marketplace, not just among the clients, but among the real estate community. It was always the hardest, now I call it smartest working. The hardest, smartest working, and being the most knowledgeable so you can help everyone out. So I've always helped people, whether they're competitors or not, because I want our industry to be more professional. And that's helped me grow. So when I bring someone a deal, because I'm still out in the field, I'm still listing properties. That's what I do. And I'm going to learn some of this business stuff, and maybe I won't do that as much. I don't know. You know, they're trying to get me out, but that's what I love to do. So it's just, everything's new. It's so exciting, but we are more a business, more of a team. The growth, just these 9 months in my team, there was 26 of us, 25 came. The growth in my team, personal, individuals, it's been unbelievable. I mean, more growth in these 9 months than probably in the last 5 years, and our future growth. But you talk, so I'm good.
You're under 30,
Yes,
and
I got one more year.
you left real estate for a year, and now you're the number 4 agent on the team. How'd that happen, and why'd you get in real estate?
Well, I feel like I've been around real estate my entire life. I've been licensed for almost 10 years, so I got it when I was in college, and I've been full-time since then. When my son was born, we wanted to take a little siesta and really spend some time with him, get married, travel. So that was an incredible blessing. But I was a top producer before then, and incredibly fortunate to be on this team. Our assistants are incredible. I get great mentorship from him, from Jim Onesti, from a lot of the people on the team. But yeah, I love real estate. I was never pressured to do it, never even considered doing it, and did an internship and kind of fell in love with it. I love people, I love the city, and it just kind of comes naturally. But yeah, we have a really great system, so I think it's easy for agents to come in and succeed on our team.
Wow. Gary Keller talks about you have to create a big, giant world to fit talented people inside. How the heck do you keep talented people like a Jim Onesti that does $100 million himself in your organization? How's that? What's that?
Because I raised them from nothing. It's my Philly accent, okay? No, but seriously, our policy is, and it's a great question because, again, I'm never going to be just a business. I am a family first, but we do try to recruit people that have our same work ethic, our same family, our same loyalty, our same integrity. And then I always say it's 1 and 1 is 3. You know, Ryan doesn't need me. I don't need Ryan. But together, we don't make 2. Together, we make 3. So Jim's been with me 20 years, and I am proud. Of my agents, probably half of them have been with me between 10 and 20 years, and it's very rare that anyone will leave me. And I have a line out the door to come to my team. We're very selective. I only hire every now and then. Now, I'm learning the Keller system, and now I can bring people on. Already probably brought on 20 or 30 or 40 people already that aren't on my team that I support through open houses and through mentorship and stuff like that. And soon we're probably going to grow our team once we have physical more space. So we're working on stuff to be able to grow the team with the Keller system without losing our values. But the thing is to give more than you get. And now for the first time I'm having them learn how to, instead of me just being the main rainmaker, because my role is you're an agent, come work with me. I have more leads than you can handle. I have the best support system, and you have the best reputation. And that's it. And then they run. But now we're teaching people how to lead generate instead of me doing it all and stuff like that. So there's so much exciting balance. But I never want to be just a numbers guy. I have to care about, love, respect the people that work on my team. That's why I own a massive company, because I couldn't do that with 1,000 people. But a smaller amount. So yeah, and assistants. I have 22, 17, 15. You know, we say we're like that. What's that song in the Hotel California?
Hotel California.
Yeah, it's such a lovely place, but you can never leave. If anybody's old enough to remember that song, that's our team.
So when you think about breaking through ceilings, so we like to take care of our top 20%, right, in our market centers. So as these agents are breaking through ceilings, for you, what ceilings were there for you? Like, was it hard to get from 50 to 100, from 100 to 200? Where did you see the ceilings, and who did you have to become to actually break through? Or who did you have to hire to get there?
I don't know. I never looked at it. I want to be number one, but I was a number one agent without an assistant in Philadelphia in 1988, and I did it all myself. No conveyancer, no nothing. And then my wife helped me this next year. She said, Mike, you're working 12, 14-hour days. Did 90 deals in 88 by myself. And so we developed a
No
system.
cell phone, no internet.
Yeah, no
Right.
cell phone. No, yeah, we'll get in that. But it was just natural growth, John. Honestly, again, I was never I was just a guy who loved people, who wanted to help people. My success is a result of early on me saying, I love real estate and I want to live a big life. Don't get me wrong, but it was I never planned it. So I never had goals. All I knew is if anybody, I remember I was coaching this one guy who owned a Keller, Antonio. I was coaching him in 97, 98, 99, taught him everything. He wasn't on my team. I didn't want him on my team because my team was 6 people then. And he was starting to catch me and be like, oh, Mike, you're not going to be number one. I'm like, he can have it. The next morning, well, there's no way, you know. And so that took me to the next level. So I re-educated a little more, invested a little more. And it's not also what the key thing for us is my business is very profitable. You know, I don't have numbers to have numbers because I could care less about being number one unless someone gets close to me, then I care. But so, John, I can't
Talking
say,
from number one.
yeah,
right?
I can't
from
say.
number
My
one.
growth has been, I've seen people shoot up and shoot down and shoot up. We're very slow, steady, methodical growth and obtainable. We're probably going to accelerate in the next year or two, but I'm not doing anything dramatic right now because this first year, as the newbie, is learning. But the Keller system is, if I had this training manual when I was brand new, God, you know, it would have been crazy.
Well, this is for both of you, and I want to hear from a 10-year millennial perspective and then from your perspective, the old guy perspective. If you were to start real estate today, what's the one thing you would focus on? So let's start with you, Ryan.
It's what I'm doing right now. I hired my first assistant this year, and I'm just working on my database and my client follow-up. And it's something that I've neglected through the years, and it's so simple and so easy, but hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients that I'm not following up on, that I'm not continually asking for referrals, making my phone calls every day. So my biggest thing, my one thing that I'm doing right now is with this assistant, learning command. I want to be the best on our team in our market center at command, dumping them in there, following up, creating that 33-touch system. It is a database business. So I haven't done, I get referrals all the time, but it's just because of, not me trying. So now I'm going to really start to try, and I'm hoping that pays off. That's what I would tell new people coming in. It's so important. You got to leverage that. Who's in your phone? Who are your friends? Everyone's going to buy a house at some point, so you got to be there when they do that.
That's scary when you don't try and you have your results. Woo, look out. How about you, Mike?
Kind of the same thing. We're salespeople. I don't want to sit on a computer and look at numbers and look at all this stuff. So having the best people that can implement that. I have a different brain. I'm sales, my wife's details. So having great support, just like Ryan just did. Someone that can implement that then keep. I like to be out on the street in front of the client. That's where I'm the most effective. That's where I call it to my agents. I want my agents doing money-making activities.
Love that.
Ryan is incredible. I mean, when I see his people, it's like, I saw your son, and they go on for 10 minutes. And that's at our first family event, which was our team event. It was unbelievable. People commented, this person and that person saying this good stuff. But what I would do is, right, if I'm brand new, is implement somebody to do this. Yeah, I'm learning all this stuff. 80% of our business comes from 20% of our contacts, right? So, instead of me, an addict on Zillow and Trillia and Realtor.com for the years, that's where my leads been coming from. They're cold leads. I never worked my resources. So I'm transitioning a lot of things to do that. But hiring a support person to do what you don't want to do. In '89, I took a course. Alan Dom was teaching it. He was the #1 sales guy in America. And there was 3 things. He said, focus, so he was a condominium king. And then he said, if you don't have an assistant, and there were no such thing as teams, there was not even buyer agency then. He said, if you don't have an assistant, Mike, you are an assistant. And you should never do anything. If your pay is $15 an hour and you can get someone to do it for $10 an hour, you should do that. And so that's what, so that's what I did. I hired good support teams, even though I'm still very engaged in every aspect of my business, developing the database. So what's going to happen is, so we've been averaging six to 800 transactions a year for the last 10 years. I haven't been able to break.
Which is 2 sales a day.
Yes.
Every
yes,
day.
Yes.
For
We haven't been able to
365
break
days.
800. We've got to like 796, 794, 765. So, but my goal, and let's do it publicly, my goal is to do 1,000 next year in 2020. That's my goal.
Are we going to hold them accountable?
Okay? So that's our goal.
1,000.
To do
There you go.
1,000
So you're
transactions.
saying it publicly right now.
Yes, and we're 365 million. Our average price is about 475, something like that. To do, I have to figure out those numbers.
It's a lot of math, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never mind. Forget it. I'll have someone else do the math.
But I love how you said, I want my team to do money-making activities. I love that.
Always. I never do me a favor. Get right.
I was just going to say that at the end of the day, there is so much to learn, and it has been, there's so much Kellerisms that we're learning and do this and do that and do that. But at the end of the day, I still have to be outside selling houses. I still have to be, going chasing the money. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So last question, and I'm going to let a few of you ask some questions because I know you want to ask some questions of this group. Anyone know a process called CV? Career visioning? That's Kellerism for you, right? There's a part called the thought process. And there's this question that's on there that I think is one of the most powerful questions, especially around October for us, is if, and this is for both of you, we're sitting here 12 months from now and everything went awesome in the McCann group, what happened?
I think we're over 100,000 or over 1,000 houses sold. Apparently, that's our goal now. So,
You just found out
yeah,
today.
let's do that.
I'm impulsive.
So that's number one. But yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's that I've continued to grow my business, that I'm actually effective every single day when I'm in the office, that I'm creating these systems, that I'm doing all this referral. But yeah, our team wants to grow every single year. So,
Love it.
1,000 houses.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Again, the transition, we've grown, and then we've recruited a couple other people. We have never been stronger, support-wise, stronger and smarter support-wise. So to me, it would be that 1,000 plus, all of my agents. Again, let me just back up. I'm a gratitude guy. First would be everybody is healthy and happy for the year. That's the first
Amen.
thing. I thank God every morning for health of my family and friends. But the 1,000 transactions, and everybody on my team goes up. I always tell people, 10, 20, 30% growth is what you need to do each year. So everybody does better. 1,000 deals, everybody's still together. We've expanded, and we've maybe brought on a few more people, and we've helped other people. Like that's what I've really loved doing, is helping other people grow. So
Well, when I spoke to Gary Keller about you, and the one thing he said, and he sees agents all around the country, he said, man, that guy you just got in your region is one of the most awesome human beings I've met. From one of the most incredible real estate minds in the country, who's interviewed some of the most brilliant people in real estate, said that about you. So that says a lot about who you are. So we appreciate you seeing this as a vehicle to take your team to the next
the crazy
place.
thing with me is, Gary, it's funny, Gary is the only realtor that's fighting for realtors that owns a major real estate. And,
Yeah.
and believe me, I have always been, I've only had a couple mentors in my whole life, but I got to tell you, getting to know Gary a little bit, it's the first time in 30-some years where I can say, I don't want to let this guy down. Like, he doesn't make me because I have to. Like, that would put me the other way. It's like, I just want to grow this company. I just want to be a part of this because this guy is investing so much time and commitment, and he really is, from the heart, and that's what I love. So it's like, I don't want to let this guy down, which is crazy, and I love that I feel like that. That's probably how Ryan feels with me. Like, oh, I'm in your shadow. You know, I'm like, dude, you're handsomer, stronger, smarter, and better than me. But he really is. His success has way accelerated my pace, no question. But people say, oh, well, his last name's McCann. The closer you are to me, the tougher I am to you. So it's funny. I'm probably nicer to you than I would be to him. But anyway, no.
Well, you know, Gary said something real powerful in a discussion, and if you go to any big company around the country, any big franchise or any real estate company, competitor of ours, and you ask what that company stands for, what they did that was so instrumental in the real estate world, you probably really can't figure out what the heck they actually did to make a difference in the real estate world. But if you think about what Gary and the Keller Williams company has done, I mean, they reinvented everything that happens in real estate, you know, and continues to do so. 4 or 5 years ago, people were saying, are you nuts for going into technology? Now everyone's into technology. So, you know, you are in the right seat at the right place. And again, for someone like you, who was the #1 agent in the world for a big franchise, to do that means a lot. And I think, yes, Gary's fighting for us every day. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And just one last thing is, I loved my other company. I loved the owners in there. You know, I took care of them. They took care of me. But the future is with the growth that we're and the investment that they have, and that's why I made the move. So
awesome. So what questions do you have for these incredible leaders up here? Right here. Oh, over there. Can I have one of the mics?
Hey, Mike.
Who let her in?
How you doing? My question for you is, have you ever invested in a coach? And if so, like how long do you still have coaches? Do you have coaches for your team? Because I'm starting to get into that.
I think it's awesome. And again, I'm a little bit old school. When I got my first 6 years in the business, I worked for a property management company. They didn't sell real estate. I was in the basement of a Trinity townhouse on Bainbridge Street. So I had to learn myself. There was no coaches in that day. So because I did the wall door knock and I got I looked at the top people in the industry early on, and I went to NAR, because you didn't have the big company. I went to NAR, National Association of Realtors, Pennsylvania Association of Realtors, and I read every book and everything, and then I took courses at Temple. So I continued to educate myself, and I was on some things, but I never did have a personal coach, just because I learned everything myself in a sense. So no, I did not. Should you? Absolutely. And again, that's where, you know, I'm going to do some growth. I probably will have. I'm more critical of myself than anybody. Like nobody holds me accountable. No one. I'm more accountable. I'm more critical of myself. Like I have my systems. I have my things. I have my expectations. I'm the worst. I don't write it down. I don't have a business plan. Every year I do. Every year, my 30 years, I did better except for 3, and I still did better, way better than the market. So I invest in myself, reading, watching, talking, communicating. But I don't have a coach, but I would advise one.
Thank you.
Hey, Mike, I was just wondering, what percentage of your listings were you able to bring over? Did Prudential keep the door open for you? And did you come as a whole team or piecemeal?
I almost don't want to say this because I think I'm on camera here, but the doors, yeah, I got the nicest compliment from regional, from Gino, the head guy throughout the country, and he said some really nice things, and was sad to see me go, and said, you know, I was a great human being, a great realtor, and what I did for the company. But you work for a company for 27 years, usually get like a gold watch. Well, I didn't get anything for my decades, so that door's been shut. And I think
that was clear.
I am going to. And it's a shame because that would be like if I loved my wife for 30 years, we got divorced, and then we didn't talk again, and we had kids, and it would be that. It's that nasty. It should have been. That door was shut, that slammed shut, and I am going to grow this company. That's all I can tell you. I am, because I believe in the company, but that door's shut.
Paul?
Hey, Mike. Question about you and Ryan. So you're 29 now? Is that,
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, how old were you when you first got licensed?
19,
Okay.
20. 19.
So I'm working close with my son, who's 23, and I've probably fired him 5 times in the last 2 years. So my question is, tell me about that dynamic, and if there was a certain thing that changed as he aged a little bit, Mike, you know? Because like you said, we're very hard on the people closest to us. So if you could talk about that, it'd be great.
Yeah, for me, I never grew up. I never was pressured. I was always kind of around it in-house as I learned my love of probably people and especially Philly from my dad, and was kind of always around the business but not forced into it. And so I kind of stumbled upon it, as silly as that sounds. And from the beginning, I knew for me personally it was just something that I liked and could be good at, and it was a great opportunity, so I just took it. And I've just spent the last 5-6 years trying to emulate him, learning from him, learning his work ethic. I could probably type up his emails for him. I've shadowed him a lot, shadowed a lot of other agents on the team a lot. But for me personally, obviously huge shoes to fill, a big shadow. He's like a celebrity, obviously, and he's really, really great at what he does. He's the best, and he has more passion and more love and more energy than anyone. So it's huge shoes for me to fill, and he makes me work hard. But I always wanted to do well for him, because obviously it's important. But I've had nothing but good training from him. I get to work with him. I don't see him every day. We see each other. In the beginning, I'd shadow him a lot. In the beginning, I'd get help on certain situations as they come across. But I've been very fortunate to have him, to have Jim, to have 15 agents on the team. And now that we're Keller Williams, I'm learning from Noah Ostroff. I'm learning from all these great people. It's great about this company. Everyone shares. It's like give, 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 give. But it's been great. It's really awesome. Sometimes I have to take a step back to, I get to work with my family every day. My sister's in the business. She's grown immensely, and she's incredible. My mom's in the business. It's really, really cool. Sometimes it's a lot, but it's great, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah.
We would love to have you both at our Cultural Family Summit in December as a family. Come there and present what it's like, because you guys know we have this big Cultural Family Summit where you come and bring the kids.
reading it, yeah.
And that's what it's all about, what you guys are creating, so that's awesome.
Just 2 seconds. I never wanted my children to get in real estate. I loved real estate. It took me from nothing, from having no money, nothing, because I was never always Mike McCann, real estate man. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have anything, so I came from the ground up. But I thought, I love it, but I'm going to get my kids to the best colleges, and then they're going to get a real job and work 9 to 5 as a CEO and or whatever, doctor, lawyer, whatever. And so none of them. But we always did make our kids work. So they had, all 3 of my children had the work ethic from middle school to high school. He was in the restaurant business. He did rehabs in the summers and stuff like that. So they did have the good work ethic. And it's funny, just a real quick story. It was his sophomore to junior year. He's at Penn State, and he's there. Yeah, Dad, we're sitting on the couch watching sports. And he said, yeah, Dad, he's there. I'm thinking about getting an internship this year. I'm like, oh, that's great, Ryan. And he's there, yeah, he's there. But I'm thinking about doing it for you. And I looked over, and inside I filled up. And then but Dad, I mean, I don't want to, not the facts guy and the copy guy and stuff like that. I said, Brian, if you come work for me, man, you're going to work, you know what I mean? But what I did, and then he came in, and that summer he's like, I want to do rentals. Next year he got his license. He did 90 rentals in the first 3 months, in the summer vacation. I said, I didn't do 90 rentals a year. 90 rentals is insane. So he had the work ethic, and he loved people. He's just a very smart kid. But what I did was I did train, the first day or two with me, half a day, gave them leads and worked with everybody. I did remove myself from them. I'm there for the support. In real estate, they have to want it. This is not I think I'll do it. If they don't have passion, dude, they need to go put them in a restaurant, make them come back. You have to have passion. If I don't, when I wake up, honestly, and he saw me when I was a kid, when I wake up, man, I come down. It's a beautiful day. The sun, when I walk in my office, what kind of a day is it, girls? It's a sunshiny day. Like they do, like, like I love getting up and I love real estate. But you need passion if you're going to. Now, his sister, who was Miss Chill, my daughters called him Golden Boy because the kid was an honor student, a great athlete, just a youth group leader, just a really good kid as a young child. And my other daughter, who was, she was just quiet, stayed away, only had one friend, maybe got picked on, she was an average student, she had no passion. She had no passion. She didn't. But she was a sweetheart, never a problem. Then my oldest, who was Miss Popular, Miss Fast and crazy, and she was insane. So I have all three. The same genes, the same generic. It's crazy. So he's Golden Boy. She's Miss Fast with all the crazy. And then my youngest where's Julie? Oh, she's upstairs in a room by herself. Like she was never around. Never. We had to force her to play softball for. She ends up not even graduating college. I pulled her out of the second year in college because whatever, she was smoking pot and not going to class with her boyfriend. So we pulled her up at Westchester, showed up in a truck, pulled her up, said, you're coming home. You said, you're going back to Westchester next year. We're not putting up with this crap. She goes and gets she's working in the mall for a week or two. And I'm like, you're not working in the mall. You're coming into work for me. She comes into work. About I'm driving her into work in the morning. About 2-3 weeks later, she said, Dad, this is the first time I felt alive in my life. She said, I have never felt like I've had a purpose in my life. And man, my hair's standing now. She is our operations manager now, okay? This girl, she's been with me 9 years. So she has grown, unbelievable being. So I love it. My wife, I'm sales, she's details. She's been in my business for years. Not physically coming in for years, but the last couple of years she's been coming in a little more since my young adults are in there. So we do have a great family. But if my wife were in there every day, my business would have collapsed because we're just, fire and water. I mean, that way. She's great on hers, I'm great on mine, but great relationship. But so it is a blessing having a family business, and there really is no tension. I don't put pressure on him. And my younger daughter, that transition, which was so brutal for me, I was devastated not having 200 listings for a month. Like I was just devastated. I knew it would be tough, and I was prepared. And I'm not gonna fail. Anything I do, I've made a commitment to. But she helped carry me. So she has grown as personal. It's unbelievable. Now she's like my wife. I drive into work with her every morning because she lives close to me, and it's my best 30 minutes every morning. And we're talking, I'm like, I just can't believe my little Julie is one of my key people in my life, right? Isn't she awesome? And she helped him be super successful, right?
Wow. Awesome. We're going to end off with Maria and then Joe.
Okay.
Sorry.
So other than your family, what would your people on your team say about your leadership? And I know you guys are humble, hungry, and smart, but be you. Tell us, if it does not being conceited, I want to hear, what would your people say about you?
And that's the thing. He is incredibly authentic.
Right.
He's never changed who he was, and that's like the first thing that comes out. He's got incredible passion. He's incredibly loyal. He knows more than anyone. He sells more than anyone. But at the end of the day, he's not arrogant. He's not cocky. He's no one besides himself. He's never changed. So he's incredibly authentic, and I think that's awesome. Our team has always been a family. So he's always our people, our clients first. And people are always going to talk about this is so typical, but he works harder than anyone else. I mean, if anyone knows him, you get an email within 30 seconds at midnight. He's up all night on his phone. He knows more about real estate than anyone else. But he's a great person to work for because he cares about his people, and he pushes us, but he also supports us. So that's what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you.
The one thing I don't have, and what we're talking about is if you come work for me and I give you leads, you better work them. If you say, Mike, I just had a child, I'm not going to be taking as many leads, that's fine. Well, cut me back on it, that's fine. So I don't have, you have to do X to be on my team. I don't track the leads, but we might start to track a little bit more just to look at who's getting more leads. So they would say that I give them what they need. Mike, I'm slow. I'll load you up with leads. I am the rainmaker. That's the one thing. And I'm a little bit too much where I fed my family instead of taught them how to fish. They're all great. So I want to teach them how to fish a little bit because that'll help all of us. And that's why I said, I'm listening to the bold thing, and they were showing the numbers. And I'm like, could you imagine people's business goes up 25 or 35? They were showing examples. And I just thought, if everybody on our team took this and everybody's business went up just 20%, God, could you imagine? So, I'm just more of I'm not a systems guy, but I'm more of I'm just a motivator. I don't have weekly meetings. I probably had 3 meetings a year. Now we're doing every other week. We are doing a coffee meeting for the team. So I'm a pretty easygoing guy if you get on my team, as long as you have good integrity and hard work. But again, that's where I'm trying to get a little more business instead of just. But I only hire people that are hungry. I hire people that have a need to work, and they want to work.
And Joe, take us home, buddy. What do you got?
So as it relates to recruiting, could you share any insight into the Berkshire Hathaway model as to why you came to Keller Williams? Because I've tried. Well, if Mike McCann joined us, you should too, and that doesn't always work. So could you share some insight?
90% of the time it does. We're talking about the 10, Mike. So what do we?
Have them call me. I can't tell you how many people I've closed. How many people I've closed for agents throughout this country. And again, I love them. I love the owners. Got a little bit different. I called it Prudential too. You called it Prudential earlier. I still call it Prudential. It's Berkshire for the last 5 years. But, and it changed a lot then. But there's a reason why. And I'll put the, but.
I have a couple amazing opportunities to grow your downline.
Let me just tell you, this is what my staff said. I told my staff Thursday night, went to this Italian restaurant, below grade restaurant where phones don't work. We made them sign, this is my team, we made them sign a non-disclosure, whatever was going to talk in that meeting. This was a Thursday at 5 o'clock. What's the name of that restaurant, Ryan? It was an underground restaurant right on Washington Square in Center City. So they came in, Julie and Ryan and Cindy, my wife had them sign, agents were at these round tables. And I wasn't in the room. They put a video up of me saying I was going to Keller Williams. I did this 5-minute snapshot video. And then I came in and told them. And then after a half hour, some people were crying, some people were happy, everybody was confused. No one had any inkling of us moving. Then Noah and his team came in and we were talking, and it was just insane. So that Saturday morning we were moving, so they had 36 hours to decide if they're going to come. So we're about 3 weeks into it, and this is the best analogy I can give you to answer this question. They said, Mike, we thought you were crazy when you made that move. Why would you move? You're at the peak of your game. You're at the peak guy. You're the big, Now we know why you left. We feel like we left a funeral and we're at a wedding. That's the energy.
Wow.
That was said to me. That was said to me. Yeah, girl. That was said to me. And that's the energy. And all of a sudden, we are meeting together more as a team. We're having more. Now, again, my role is always to protect my people. I would say money-making activities. And James B. Marion III, my vacuum guy for 3.5 years when I sold $650 vacuum cleaners in 1979 with interest rates of 21%, he said, Mike, how many people do you, before, if it takes you 3 people to sell 1 vacuum and you want to sell 3, you need 9 appointments. He said, now you could do 9 appointments and not sell 1, but 10, 11, and 12. And James B. Marion, the law of averages never dies. So I always tell my agents, I want money-making activities. You're telling me you're working so hard? How many appointments did you have? How many clients did you meet this week? So it's the law of averages. So we have to watch. We want to learn, but I still have to make sure we're doing our money-making activities. Because I'm like, I had 15 meetings and conferences this month. Like, I didn't have 15 a year at my past company. So I'm doing that balance of learning and growing, still making sure we generate income. There's many reasons why. I mean, there's many reasons. Honestly, I'll talk to anybody. I talk to everybody every day, no matter what.
Awesome. Let's give Mike and Ryan a hand. Thank you.